Hey guys, I am the Seaman235 and I am back with another video. I was initially going to make a list of things that pissed me off in 2020, but I decided against it because some of it had something to do with rather touchy subjects like COVID, politics, and I'm not afraid of talking about my experience with COVID, but I am afraid of talking about politics, especially with the new subs that have recently come in. And to those subs, hey, welcome to my channel. I don't always do those meme videos. I do them from time to time, but usually it's when I come up with something good and I think, oh, this will be funny, and I just wing it. But hey, I hope you watch my main content. I know it's nothing special, but if you want to, listen to it in the background while you're doing something else, by all means, treat this more as a podcast if you want to. I generally don't rely on too much visual humor, so it shouldn't really be that big of a deal, and I'm glad to have you. But because of that, I don't want to talk about politics. You guys probably came here to escape from that shit, and it happened in 2020, It all happened, in November. Let's just leave it behind. I will give some personal fuck yous to the election, some personal fuck yous to both the left, the right, and the centrists, and all of the people on Twitter, and another personal fuck you to the pandemic. Because let's be honest here, COVID deserves it. COVID deserves all of the fuck yous we can give it for all of the shit it put us through. Now that I got those personal fuck yous out of the way, let's actually get to what I wanted to do for this video. So, I don't know if I'm going to make this one video or two videos, so if you're wondering why I treat this as two videos or one video, you know why. I'm going to do something I've never done before. A personal life story time. Not an animated story time, because I can't animate for shit. I might want to learn how to eventually, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's actually get to the story at hand. So I figured, since one of the stories I had on my list was Gamestop, because GameStop kind of fucked me over with something. And I figured this would be a fun time to do it, considering GameStop is kind of in the news recently because of the wall bets and Reddit, and the stock price increasing by over 600% or something like that. It's hilarious. It's an hilariously just awesome situation. I'm having so much fun learning about this stuff because it's just funny to me. But I'm not gonna go into it. I'll just keep it at that because I am not the most. I'm not an investor, I know about investing, I know about it, I'm not knowledgeable. I had to do a lot of research to understand the situation, and now I understand it to a very bare basics, but when it comes to the hows, I can't give you anything. I would personally recommend you watch other videos, especially those from actual investors who know a thing or two about investing and how it works. With that said, I just want to talk about this because I think it's one of the funniest stories I've had from GameStop, and GameStop, let's be honest here, is kind of a dying horse for a very good reason, so I'd rather make the video now, and, before the horse completely dies. Which means I'll probably get this video out sometime in March, because, I always have to be late to the party because it's the story of my fucking life! So, sometime in 2020, my Xbox One X was taken from me, was stolen by a thief, and whoever that thief is, I hope you die. When my Xbox was stolen, it was just the worst feeling because I made, thankfully I was able to keep my save files because, it had cloud saving, just one of the best innovations of modern gaming, cloud saving, and fuck Nintendo for making you pay for it. I'll get to Nintendo later, not now. But, oh, I love free cloud saving. Cloud saving is one of the best features ever. I didn't have to restart that many of my games. I had to restart a few because my Xbox One X, for some reason, I'm not sure why, I bought it from GameStop, but for some reason it came with a bunch of games and it just kept adding games over and over and over again. It was really weird and I'm not sure why. But I was able to keep a majority of my saves, and because of that, just not from the games that I had already installed, but not I didn't play, or games I did play but were installed when the console was just giving me free shit. Yeah, I wasn't able to keep that, which is unfortunate, but you know, whatever, it's fine. You know, most of the games I wasn't going to play anyway, I'll just buy them again. And I didn't even play them. Some of them I didn't even want. So, to be honest, having the extra space is nice. With that said, most of the games I did play and I did care about, I was able to keep their saves. With the exception of Sonic Generations, I believe the save file got corrupted, so I had to redo that. But it wasn't that big of a deal, because to me, Sonic Generations is one of my favorite games, so any excuse to play it again is just... I never get tired of it. It's just such a joy to go through. I love Sonic Generations. It is one of my favorite games ever. Probably my favorite platformer in general ever, which I know is probably a controversial statement, but I don't give a hell. I don't give a hell. I don't give a fuck. What am I trying to censor this shit for YouTube? Nah. This video isn't for kids. Long story short, I pretty much had my Xbox One X stolen. It sucked. It was terrible, but, you know, I did eventually get a new one from Amazon. Before that, however, I went to GameStop to get another one. And I could be wrong about this detail, but I do believe they said the refurbished Xbox One X was cheaper than the used one. I don't know if that's true. I could be misremembering, so don't go after GameStop for that. You can go after GameStop for other reasons. In fact, I'm going to give you a couple. GameStop and me, we've always had a rocky relationship. I love the employees. The employees, like, I know it's not their fault. They're told by higher-ups to do a bunch of shady shit, and I don't blame the employees one bit. There are a few employees I ran into that could be like, wow, you are just dumb or ignorant or just a flat-out grade-A douchebag. 90% of the employees I run into are just awesome people. They're gamers just like you and me, and because of that, or, you know, maybe you're not a gamer, I don't really know, but if you are, they're just gamers like you and me, and because of that, we can sort of shoot the shit, and, you know, yeah, they're gonna shove deals in your face, but at the same time, I understand in the back of my head, it's not their fault. And I never snap at them for that. I know other people don't have a tolerance for that, and that's understandable, I get it. But me personally, I can sort of bear it because it's not their fault. I know they don't want to do it. They know that GameStop is not a very good company overall, but, you know, they have to make a living. So, I just sort of bear with it because, let's be honest here, again, it's not their fault. So yeah, I think what he said, and again, I could be misremembering, so don't blame GameStop for this. He said the used one and the refurbished one are two different prices, with the refurbished one being better and cheaper. And, you know, I thought, okay, well, you know, refurbished, you know, means that it was, like, tweaked in order to, you know, play better. And to be fair, I got a refurbished Wii. Like, I have it still. It's, like, somewhere, like, packed away. But, like, I have a refurbished black Wii that plays GameCube games, and we played, I took it to my friend Zach's house, and we played Super Smash Bros. Brawl on it for a while, like a couple of hours, and it played beautifully. No problems whatsoever. If anything, it ran really smoothly. So I figured, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's refurbished or not. I'll get it, you know, I'll see. You know, I know some people complained about GameStop's refurbished shit, but I always had a good experience with it. So I decided to get it. And I wish I hadn't. Hey guys, so I had to re-record a major chunk of this video because a lot of it was just rambling and kind of messy and it would take forever to edit. So I figured I would re-record a major chunk of it and just go from there. My apologies. Hopefully this version of it runs smoother. So if you're wondering why the audio might sound different or better, here's why. So before I got the Xbox One X I have now, which I got brand new from Amazon, I got two refurbished GameStop Xbox One X's that didn't work. Alright, so the first Xbox One X I got from GameStop, I got it and it came with a faulty hard drive. So I was playing Battlefront 2 EA, or BF2 EA, which is probably what I'm going to call it, Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA version, because they have the same name as the 2005 game because it's stupid. So I'm just going to call it BF2 EA, just to make it simpler. So BF2 EA, I was playing it, having fun. Then for some reason, it told me I couldn't cloud save anymore, and that something about it failed. And it took me to a menu where I could either delete the Xbox 360 save data stuff or the Xbox One stuff. Obviously, I didn't want to do that, but it wasn't giving me much of a choice. And the game would not play anymore. And it's a digital game, by the way. Like, it's no disc. I don't have a disc of BF2EA. So I, probably not the smartest move, turned it off. Turned it back on, same thing happened, except now it was doing it at the Xbox home menu. I eventually called Microsoft and we tried to find out what happened. He recommended I just delete the save data on some of the games, so I did, didn't work, so he recommended a hard reset. This also did not work. And as a result, we just came to the assumption it came with a faulty hard drive. Considering that it wasn't connecting to the cloud anymore, and I couldn't cloud save. I couldn't even save in general. In fact, we actually, no, I lied. Sorry about that. We didn't hard reset. You want to know why we didn't? Because we couldn't. For some reason, my Xbox kept taking me to a menu where it said it just wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't let me go to a menu. I did get to a menu to try to hard reset, but then it just wouldn't let me hard reset. Like, nothing about the hard drive stuff was working. Like, so essentially, we just came to the assumption it was just a faulty hard drive. So, I know GameStop replaces hard drives in refurbished systems. I believe they do sometimes, if the hard drive looks kind of eh. I'm going to assume they do. I think SpawnWave has videos on this stuff that prove this. And, I don't know what they replaced it with, or if they tried to fix it, or what they did. It just didn't work. So, the first one having a faulty hard drive, to the point where I couldn't even hard reset, because the damn system wouldn't let me go to that menu, and even when I got there, it just failed on me. And keep in mind, I treated the system like a baby, because it's $300, you don't want to hurt it, or, kick it or anything. I didn't do anything to it, it just didn't work. So I took it back and got a new one. Because I figured, hey, it happens sometimes, but I'm going to assume their used stuff is of a higher quality. Because this Xbox One X, the second one I got from GameStop, did not work either. I don't know why, but it didn't. Well, actually, no, I do know why it didn't work. I just don't know why they kept giving me Xbox One X's that didn't work. So what happened with this one was it had a faulty disk drive. At least that's what we're assuming, because I had to call Microsoft again because, So I was playing Sonic Generations, one of my favorite platformers, one of my favorite games ever, and easily my favorite Sonic game. Better than Sonic Mania. Oh yeah, I said it. But anyway, I was playing it and having fun until I went to, finish collecting statues. The statue room, it's secret, you have to enter passwords to get statues. They were probably supposed to be given out at events, but, internet hacking, we hacked into the files. It didn't stay a secret for long. And I don't even know, did any of those events actually happen? They probably happened in Japan. Anyway, so I was playing Generations, and I was having a good time until I went to the statue room. After about the 5th statue I entered, for some reason, this weird thing happened. Every time the game was saving, which was pretty much after every statue entered, because it was saving data for that statue being collected and entered, it took a minute to save. And it was lagging, and it was chugging, and it was slowing down. The music would stop eventually. It's just really, really weird. There was more slowdown than usual, but after it saved, it went back to normal. I enter another statue. 1 more minute of all of that, what I just said. Enter another statue, 1 minute of saving. Enter another statue, 1 minute of saving. I kept doing it because I wanted to get it over with, but eventually I just bit the bullet and just decided to get off of it. It took a minute to load. Then it took another minute to save. Then afterwards, I clicked off of the game. I clicked exit game. But it saves after every game, after I'm done playing. Like, if you hit the pause menu on the hub world and click go to menu, it saves your game. Because, it doesn't want you to lose any progress. And it took a minute to do that. Afterwards, I clicked off, put the disc back in, tried it again, didn't work. So eventually I just said, okay, maybe it's my copy. I decided to move on and install the rest of the games, because, again, I had to reinstall everything on the second Xbox One X. So I went to reinstall other games I wanted to play. So I started with DMC5 and Spyro, Reignited Trilogy, because I actually was playing Spyro. I have opinions on them. I don't have them on the channel yet. I might do it at some point. But I started with DMC5, since DMC5 was my favorite game of the generation, in my opinion. It was really, really good. I love DMC5. So I installed it. I was looking forward to playing it again. And the installation kept failing. It failed after like 60 or 70%. And it just wouldn't go up any further. So I decided to, delete the data, try again. Still failed. I eventually gave up and decided to have Spyro instead. The installation failed. Until the third try, where I was finally able to finish installation of Spyro. So I tried with DMC again. It still didn't work. So I was fed up. I called Microsoft again, and I told them everything. We tried a hard reset. Thankfully, we were actually able to do it. But again, the installations were still pausing. And so we just came to the conclusion, again, the disk drive was failing. Before I played Generations, I actually did reinstall BF2EA. And when I did, it worked fine. But every game with a disc wouldn't fully install. Which is why we came to the conclusion the disk drive failed. So I got an Xbox One X with a faulty hard drive, and I got an Xbox One X with a faulty disk drive. 2 refurbished Xbox One X's that were supposedly refurbished sucked. I don't know what they did to them, but oh my god. Thankfully, the GameStop employee, I'm going to assume he's had this problem before, so he was very kind. He gave me my money back. I told him, no, I really don't want another one, dude. I tried 2 of them. I really don't want to try this again. And he was understanding, and, I thank him for that. And he gave me my money back, all of it. And I eventually bought one online on Amazon. It was a brand new one, too. I still have the box for it and everything. And I've had it ever since. So goddamn. That was where I sort of started to swear off GameStop a bit more. Not because of the employees, The employees are awesome. I will always defend the employees. The people working there have always been great. But I don't know what it is with their refurbished products, even some of their used products. Like, I bought Force Unleashed for the Wii because I wanted to have a version of the PS2 game. Eventually, I got the PS2 version, just for collector's sake. But the Wii version, for some dumbass reason, was just so badly scratched up. Like, the center of the disc was just so scratched up. Whenever it was in my Wii, it made a weird cracking sound, like almost as if the disc was breaking inside of the Wii. And every time it did it, it started to lag, it started to glitch up. And I was just like, yeah, this is probably a faulty copy. Several DS games I got from them just don't work in some of my 3DSs, or even in my DS for that matter. Even a copy I bought of Pokemon Black, I bought it from GameStop. It doesn't work. I actually had to buy another version of Pokemon Black from a place in Q-Mart called Doghouse Gaming, and that one works perfectly. It is amazing. But the one I got from GameStop, shite. Their quality control is so terrible. I don't know what they do, how they treat their stuff. I don't know why they don't have the DS games. Why don't they have them in their cases? One, that is a severe waste of plastic if you're just tossing it. Why don't you just keep the cases? And on top of that, why don't you keep the games in the cases? Like, why don't you keep the games in their original cases? Because it keeps them safer, keeps them nicer. People probably would want to buy more from you if you actually had the original cases and manuals, especially since a lot of people are really, like, anal about that shit, myself included to some extent. It's just ridiculous, and this was when I started to turn on GameStop, because I was so fed up with that I just did not want to shop there ever again. I still kept my opinion that the employees were great, and they still are. But, oh my god. And also, the way GameStop treats their employees is also notoriously bad. Like, the competition that they force between their employees, the amount of used and refurbished shit they force them to sell, or else they're fired, the quota they have to meet. I know other jobs have quotas, and that's fine. I understand why quotas exist, because if an employee's not doing work, they don't want you hired. I get it. That's fine. But the quotas GameStop has you meet are just disgusting. And it's why I don't want to shop from GameStop anymore. Honestly, now I'm probably going to go to Best Buy, or maybe I'm going to go somewhere else. Hell, I'd rather go to Walmart and Target. Yeah, Walmart and Target. There's also another game store, like Doghouse Gaming, I mentioned that one. I go there too, because, it's awesome. It's probably the best game store, at least the best one I've been to in my area. GameStop, comparatively speaking, is just, they have so many shoddy products. They have so many products that just have faults in them. Their refurbished stuff isn't even well refurbished. Like, they seemingly go in and, like, fix a couple of problems from broken consoles, but they must not do a very good job, or they must rush them out to meet demand. And don't get me started on what they tried to do during the pandemic. Like how they said they were essential, even though we have digital gaming-based stores where we can download games from the safety of our home away from the pandemic, and forced employees to work in these conditions. It's terrible. It's terrible. Thankfully, they were closed by force, because they don't want no legal trouble. They can't afford that, or at least they couldn't now. They might be able to now, but as if they're gonna try again. So yeah, that was a GameStop story I figured I would tell. It was a big moment from 2020, and it was a really terrible moment for me, a terrible time for me. I couldn't play so many games I loved, and on top of that, it just sucks to have one of your consoles, or really anything of yours, stolen. It's just terrible. It feels terrible. It also places mistrust between you and a bunch of people you might care about, because you might secretly, in the back of your head, think they're guilty, even if you know for a fact they're not. It's just one of those where it's just a terrible feeling. Thankfully, I eventually got a new one, and I no longer have those feelings in the back of my head. And honestly, 2021 for me so far has been pretty good. I think it's been pretty good compared to, like, the start of 2020. Because even the start of 2020 for me was just not a very good time. Because the ending of 2019 was pretty bad for me too. But this year's been starting off pretty okay, yeah, there's been dumb shit that's been happening, but, like, most of it is online and not affecting me personally, so kind of a selfish way to think, but, I'm trying to stay positive, so trying to stay somewhat positive. And I also want to say this: if you love GameStop or love the GameStop in your area, I'm not telling you not to go back. These are just my personal experiences with GameStop. If you think I'm telling you to shun GameStop, no. Look, if you want to shun GameStop, there are plenty of reasons to. I'm not going to deny that. There's plenty of reasons to. Even I'm kind of fed up with them, as a corporation. The people higher up, the people who, force their employees to essentially become slave workers for little to no pay. I don't know if they even make a minimum wage. They probably don't. It's just one of those where, as a corporation, GameStop is just awful. But at the same time, I also understand why there's really, for some people, there's no other option, and for other people, maybe their GameStop is actually one of the good ones. So, if you want to go to GameStop, that's fine. Hell, I might go there if I don't have any other choices. It's not as if I won't shop there ever, it's just I don't want to shop there if I can help it. So, I'm not saying you should boycott GameStop. Though, if you want to, I get it. So yeah, that's all from me, for this video anyway. I'm the C-Man235, signing out, and I hope you have a good one.